Rinoa is a different marksman, much like the Emperor is, but it's not clear at first. The main source of the problem is her bravery attacks being less than good and very unusual, especially her neutral. Her neutral is special because it has no tracking at all. In between shots, she'll slightly turn to shoot at whatever she's aiming at, but she really doesn't turn that much at all, so you can't really rely on it. Her neutral is not your poking standard attack, unlike almost all the other marksmen in the game. Her neutral is more for punishing. You'll notice that almost all of her attacks require you to time something correctly, because they sacrifice a lot of tracking and a lot of range for damage and for speed. You'll start noticing this with her neutral if you find another Rinoa. Another Rinoa might use her forward bravery in the air to get you away, but once you dodge that, try using your neutral brave a couple of times, because you'll probably end up hitting her faster than she can hit you with her forward brave. Speaking of her forward bravery, on the ground it shoots out many projectiles at once that track the opponent pretty damn well, and in the air it's a self-defense to get away from these style of attack like Terra's Thunder attack. Her ground forward bravery is a more standard style of a poke. If you play it as ace, that's basically his neutral attack, it just all shoots out at once. As a result, you're going to spam this move a lot. This is going to be like your go-to move for your standard marksman procedures. Now her forward bravery in the air, you either can time this right and get really close to the enemy and wait for them to dodge and then use it, or if you're not going to use it in an offensive manner like that, for defense, you're going to want to wait a second. This is because when you consider the range of the attack, the end lag is surprisingly long for it. It's very much a punishing move. So if you are using it defensively, just keep backing up, either by walking or dashing in the air. Try to dash in the air actually, because if you do miss it, you're going to end up with no dash, and then you can't get away at all unless you guard and they don't do an HP attack. Either way you decide, just keep retreating until they miss an attack and then throw it at them. Now if this is a lower skill player who dodges after every single attack every single time, just wait for the attack to almost be over rather than throwing it out immediately at the same time as their attack, because then it's a lot easier to hit them after the dodge. Due to its surprisingly large hitbox, it has a fair chance of hitting them while they're actually in the middle of moving during the dodge, rather than at the very start or at the very end when they're completely still. This is contrary to Terra, because Terra's comes out 3 times and it can be spammed a little bit to defend yourself. Rinoa, you only really got 1 shot with it, so you gotta make it count. I don't think I really have to explain her backwards bravery on the ground. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a really close self-defense technique. It also places Angelo at your feet should you need her to be there to help you fight another marksman or anybody. Her backwards bravery in the air can be aimed like Emperor's forward bravery. This attack has an enormous hitbox for how fast it comes out. It of course sets up Angelo wherever she lands. I find the best option 90% of the time to be aiming her directly at the opponent by pressing nothing on the analog stick as I fire her away. This is because she does a lot of damage, much more than if you use her as a trap. On top of that, she stops the opponent by hitting them, and if you do miss, she lands right next to them. But sometimes you don't need to really be tricky or creative with your moves in Dissidia NT. This attack is just big and fast and does a pretty good amount of damage, and then it sets up a trap for you. It's not that special, but it works. It's your go-to in the air, much like your forward bravery on the ground. Your forward bravery on the ground is better for tracking, so if a target's being very evasive, you're probably going to use that one more, while your backwards bravery is good for straightforward attacking. You'll be using it a lot more against predictable targets, and people who are slower in general, like Cloud of Darkness, or Garland, or Emperor. Now let's go to her dash bravery attack. Angelo is a bit slow, but that's okay. This attack has pretty damn good tracking. Unlike her forward brave or her backwards brave in the air, this one has a lower start lag than both of them. It's an amazing spam attack. There's no dedication to this attack, even less than her neutral brave. You just use it and it's gone and you're good, you can keep going. As you get higher and higher up in ranks and people get more and more evasive, you'll be using this attack a lot more. Especially in the air, because this will be your only tracking move in the air, really. Your neutral and forward braves don't really tilt up or down that much, and your backwards bravery, if someone's really close to you, you're kind of screwed because there's an aim down directly in front of you. Also takes a little bit to start, meaning that a neutral from an enemy can beat your little Angelo cannon. Meanwhile, Angelo Rush can usually keep up with most opponents, and it'll hit them, and if it doesn't hit them, it'll explode. And by that, I don't mean Angelo literally explodes. I mean she'll run around in a circle, biting the air, and if your opponent is in that area when they cancel your projectile, or let's say the projectile completely misses, if they walk into Angelo, it'll still hit them. If you played as Lightning before this patch, you'll know what I mean. Her projectiles used to explode after they died, either by contacting a wall or a surface, or by being out in the field for too long. Now they no longer do that. Rinoa's dash attack does. Comparing it to her forward bravery, you don't have to sit around while she reloads her pinwheel arm thing. I don't know what it's called. I think it's like an arm crossbow. Either way, she has to like adjust it after she's done with the attack, which means you have to wait there while she's doing that before you can dodge cancel or guard cancel, while her dash attack doesn't make you have to wait for that. To conclude Combine Rinoa, the best way to describe her is that it's Angelo featuring Rinoa. Due to how easy it is to miss all of her own attacks, 90% of the time you're going to be using your Angelo attacks instead of her actual pinwheel arm cannon thing. At least by itself, because without Angelo, you're just playing as a worse version of Ace. Your success with Rinoa not only comes from timing your attacks properly and aiming them, but also using Angelo appropriately as a trap and as a projectile. Now onto Angel Wing. You're pretty much going to use her in the exact same way, except her attacks are bigger and they're stronger now, so you can spam them a lot more freely without worrying about missing them and getting attacked. Her backwards Bravery on the ground is replaced, so you have no self-defense attack while on the ground anymore. You have her neutral, which still misses really easily if you're not careful with it. Either way, it is now a Seek. I've also heard some people say it's like a reverse meteor due to the animation having pillars flying upwards, though I haven't hit anybody after the first initial hit. So if it is a reverse meteor, it is. It just makes the attack better, I guess. Despite that, and it's spawning on the opponent, it's really, really fast. It's skinny, but it comes out so much more faster than other Seeks, you can pretty much punish anything with it. So for the opponent to do something and then just throw it out there. It's not that special outside of its extreme speed, so if you used a Seek before, then you know how to use this one. Onwards to her final attack, her backwards Bravery in the air is a giant AoE projectile spam attack. It sends out like 5 big orbs that come and attack onto the opponent. If you're still like really struggling with Rinoa, start with this attack. It is your standard Bravery attack from other marksmen that you've played as before. Terra, Golbez, the other guy always have attacks like this. But it's a good stepping stone to learn Rinoa off of. Once you learn this attack, you can start expanding to other attacks. It's also just a very safe attack to use a lot due to how big it is. It might have a little less range than Terra's or Golbez's backwards meteor, big projectile, you know what I mean, attacks, but the speed at which it comes out is phenomenally fast. Not only does it cast fast, but the projectiles come out surprisingly fast as well. It's almost like they have an extremely quick acceleration period, and then they fly at the opponent. It catches a lot of people off guard because most of the time whenever you see an attack like this, you stop what you're doing and then you dash. But this thing comes out so fast that if they do that, they'll get hit by at least like 1 projectile, maybe 2. And even if it does completely whiff, you'll be back in control of Rinoa fast enough to get away. This attack is great against evasive targets because it kind of lowers their possibility of escaping you should they miss an attack. Of course, don't use it when you're right next to the opponent, because then they'll just punish it by, jumping over you or something. At a basic level, that's Rinoa. All of her HP attacks are just reskins of already existing HP attacks. Meteor is literally just a reskin of Shining Wave from Warrior of Light, because if you use it near a ledge, you'll notice that it just stops, like a pillar HP attack. It is literally just a reskin, so be very careful with how you use that attack. Don't let the animation of it dropping down from the sky fool you. Imagine it going up from the ground. If this didn't help you, or if you have any questions at all, put them in the comments below and I'll respond, and I'll try to help you learn Rinoa a little better. The more you learn, the better you are at this game. The better you are at this game, the more fun you'll have. I'm Blue the Hedgehog. Stay safe. Make sure to drink a lot of water if you're still planning on doing stuff during the end of summer, and I'll see you guys next time on Blue the Hedgehog. Bye freaking bye, motherfuckers. Yeah.